Hey everybody, my son is kind of playing with the dogs and taking over the whole house, making noise, being rambunctious because it's his day off from work. So I'm here in the pink room where all things quiet occur. You can probably hear one of my dogs, Benny, panting in the background. So anyhow, I thought I would take a few minutes to show off this hat because it's just sort of a fun object that I did. We put it on. It is a cap. And I'm sure a lot of you have knitted caps. They're just a really traditional Fair Isle project that you can do. I kind of need this. I was out walking the dogs and it was like 31. And then all of a sudden, after like half an hour of some flurries, the wind picked up to like, I don't know, 25, 30 miles an hour. And I was out there with my Shih Tzu and we were like, we got to get home. It was so this hat makes me feel warm. But anyhow, I'll give you some detailed look here. One of the things that I should have used a smaller needle on this ribbing, so I probably should have used maybe a 0 on that or maybe a 1. I used a 2 for the rest of it, but you know, when you have it on, it doesn't matter, so it's not really a problem. It's got a cute little tassel on top, and again, I'll show you how when you put it on, you know, the ribbing part's not a problem. But I probably should have, for a long time I forgot that when you're doing the ribbing, you're supposed to use a smaller needle size. So now I'm very fastidious about that. But I did this 2 or 3 years ago, and I didn't know any better. The innards here, so you start off and you basically knit the brim facing like right side in or something. Let's just call it right side in. Then you switch and you go to this ribbing, so it's like a lining, ear covering. And then you switch, so you've got, you know, the back side of the brim, and then your ribbing, which is reversible. Then you go to the right side, and you're basically knitting in the other direction, knitting the other way to do the rest of the ferrule. So it's a really clever design, and I think it works great. I probably should knit more of these. In fact, I should probably use fewer stitches. I could use a smaller gauge. I'm pretty good at knitting with 0s because of all the socks that I knit, but it's a little big. Sometimes that's nice. You know, maybe it's just because I cut my hair short. Maybe if I had more hair, like if my daughter wore it, it would probably fit perfectly. I'll tell you a little bit about the pattern. That's it. Fair Isle Fisherman's Cap pattern by Anne Sinclair. And there's some pictures of the ones that are illustrated. As you can see, there are a lot of variations. So, you know, I've got this pattern going. The traditional Fair Isle, it emphasizes stars a lot. And I'm not even sure what shapes to call these. You can definitely see the X's and O's. That is a very typical Fair Isle type of expression. And let's talk a little bit more about the pattern first. So this is from a museum. The reason I did this project was, hey, Benny, he's not going to stand. You know how we have KALs, knit along? Well, there's another kind of KAL, which is a Kep-along. So I did a Kep-along with the Woolly Thistle a couple years back. And I think we just posted on Facebook. So there wasn't a whole lot of interaction. I was not real thrilled with the amount of interaction I got. When I did Tour de Fleece over the summer with Tashi, and there was a guy who was also, I'm trying to remember his name, there was like way more interaction. So anyhow, I think they could maybe use someone else to organize the way that the interaction takes place. But in any case, it was with the Woolly Thistle, and I was glad to do it. It was motivating, obviously. You want to finish this cap with the group, so that helped me. And this, you download and buy this, I think it's actually from a museum, so there's a lot of information here. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but I'll just read a few sentences. The pattern for this beanie is one that Anne Sinclair, did for the National Trust for Scotland as part of their Golden Jubilee celebrations in 1980. The style and the use of smaller patterns and natural colors became more of a tradition in Fair Isle after 1918. And just to give you an idea, so, you know, the patterns that are used for something like this are very traditional, so I don't really feel funny showing this to you, because you can get these in books. But this is kind of what you get. So you get options, you know, all these different options from motifs that you can use. And I'm trying to figure out how many pages that goes on for. 1, 2. There are 2 full pages of that. And there are, well, they're called grunds. I've never seen that word before. To me, these are Peries. So these are just smaller patterns. You know, when you do Fair Isle, sometimes you have a bigger motif that's going to cover, like, I don't know, 12 rows or something like that. But then you might have Peries, or here they're being called grunds for whatever reason. Maybe it's a Scottish word. It's like 4 rows, right? And you just have to figure out the math of the patterns that you need to get the length that you want. I'm kind of going through here to see if there's anything else worth showing. Bottom line is, there are all kinds of motifs that goes on for pages and pages, so it's a wonderful pattern. You have to pay like $7 or $8 for it, but it's actually worth it. And the instructions are really clear. I didn't have any trouble following the procedures for knitting, you know, like the inside out part and then the ribbing part and all the lengths and measurements. Again, my gauge was probably, I could have made it a little tighter, or else maybe just cut out like, you know, 8, 10 stitches, maybe even 10. If I did it again, I would definitely knit it a little bit fewer stitches. But the yarn is going to be a fingering. So they recommend the Jameson jumper weight. So that's your fingering weight. Shetland wool, equivalent to a 4-ply. The needle size, like I say, I used a 2. They've got sizes here, which I think these are millimeters. Do you think 2.5, 3, 3.75? So anyhow, I'm pretty sure I used a size 2 needle. I should have used 0 on the ribbing, however. But yeah, there's some more pictures of some Fair Isle stuff going on here, some hats, and I guess it's just a lot of hats on the chair. It's really cool looking. Lots of inspiration. So, but let me tell you about this yarn, because so some of this was just gifted to me. I had a friend she was trying to get rid of some stuff, and it's not even labeled. I can't tell you what it is. I think I had like a couple of balls of yarn that I got from her that were sort of plied by hand. Like somebody was like, oh, I'm going to combine these colors. And I wanted to separate them. So I just separated them. And I ended up with these cool self-striping. I don't know what they are. I'm pretty sure they're wool. And they're pretty, but they did some really interesting stuff. And the overall effect, you know, it's pretty good. It's, you know, it's me. It's like colorful, and there's pink and there's some bright blue in there. And the little tassel, you know, is fun. That turned out well. So it's the only hat that I've made with a tassel, apart from, I have to show you my stocking hat that I made one time. But it works really nicely. But, so the other yarn, if you look closely, so we're starting off down here with kind of a pink. And then it's sort of, I'm going to just call it beigeifies. What is going on with that? So I'll show you. I got this County yarn. This is from Estonia, is my understanding. Let me double check that. Well, it's saying Denmark. Well, Denmark. In any case, this is County. I can't really say how old this is, because this friend of mine, Kelly, who has the BFL sheep that she raises, her mother has had this shop in Groton, South Dakota for a long time, decades. And I swear, some of the yarn that's on the shelf in there, it's very rustic. It's like there's no real ceiling. It's just, you see like insulation and the wood beams and stuff. It's just sort of a, not quite an A-frame, but, you know, a peaked roof warehouse kind of place. It's kind of primitive. It's really homey. It's got carpets everywhere, and I'm sure this yarn was on the shelf for a good while. You can see inside. Look at all those colors, but they change so slowly. And this is 100 grams. I probably used maybe 30 grams at most for this hat. So that's how we have this sort of cool, you know, pink to beige color variation. And the yarn that I use for I'm going to call it the ear band, so the rib part, is an alpaca. And therefore, when it's on my ears, it feels wonderful. So sometimes I'll wear, like on a windy day like it was today, this would like probably blow right off. But with, if I put a hood over it, then, oh my gosh, you're so toasty, right? Then it's just perfect because you can, I could just about bring it down over. I needed this tonight. The snow was just like blowing directly in our face. My poor little dog, she only has one eye, and thank goodness she's blind because she could hold her little eye closed. But I was like this, telling, I can almost hear it out there. That wind is almost scary. But in any case, yeah, between the wool and the alpaca and like the extra layer, it's really nice. So I thought this would be a fun project to share with you, and I'd love to hear from you. Have you made a fisherman's cap? And if so, tell us a little bit about your experience. Or did you ever do a Kep-along? Or would you like to do a Kep-along? That might be kind of fun. So appreciate, again, all your subscriptions. I'm getting really close to 1,000, so I'm very excited about that. And I was talking to my person today from the local mall who has her own kind of merch type store and gift shop, and she does logos, and she showed me a prototype of a logo for my author webpage for my novels, and it's a cat with a ball of yarn. So I'm really excited because there's yarn just almost, in every chapter of my novels. So in any case, lots of exciting things going on. I hope you're able to work on something as beautiful as this lovely hat tonight, and stay warm wherever you are, whether you're in Germany or England or Canada or wherever. And Benny says hi. He's looking at me. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Have a great evening. Bye.